august occasion. Occasion successfully and finish it safely and successfully and go back to our respective destinations in a safe condition. We pray for this opportunity. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayka. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, my able director, PTP. Also to recognize Alhaji Idi Abdullahi, the director, PRS, and sorry to recognize the director, African Airspace and Space Law, Dr. Ayodele Gata. I think he's in our midst. You are very much welcome, sir. Most importantly, to recognize the guest speaker for today's event, Dr. Richard Isebiogun. You are welcome, sir. I have to pronounce it well. Thank you very much. Please, without much ado, we want to welcome every parent that is seated here. Thank you for finding time to be with your ward today to celebrate this monumental event in their lives. We recognize you and we are always happy to see you around. You are most welcome. If you have the program with you, we are actually in program number 6, which is the opening of the matriculation ceremony by the acting registrar, Mr. Onwukwe, JP Square. Okay, some of us that do not know why we call him JP Square. He has gone to Jerusalem twice. So we put JP and we add another JP to his name. You are very much welcome, the acting registrar, sir.
The acting vice chancellor, deans and directors, staff and matriculating students of African Aviation and Aerospace University, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly invite the Vice Chancellor, sir, to declare this matriculation ceremony open. Thank you, sir.
Deans and directors, University, ladies and gentlemen, by the authority conferred on me by the Senate of the African Aviation and Aerospace University, Abuja, I now declare the third matriculation of the African Aviation and Aerospace University open.
Please, another round of applause for the acting Vice Chancellor of the African Aviation and Aerospace University, who needs no introduction, but for most of us that are meeting him for the first time, he is the Mr. Capacity, and he is known by Mustafa Sheikh Abdullahi HD. Thank you very much, sir. Just run through our program. We'll be inviting the chairman of the governing council for his matriculation address. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, put your hands together. Governing Council of the African Aviation and Aerospace University, who is also the Pro-Chancellor of this university.
ever graduated. This is your graduating picture. So welcome and thank you for your time and thank you for listening.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the chairman of the governing council of this great university. Thank you so much for that very brief and straightforward address. Ladies and gentlemen, may I apologize for a small breach in the protocol of events. The acting vice chancellor was supposed to take his speech before the chairman of the council. So once more, I will invite the registrar of this university to invite the acting vice chancellor to come and take his opening address. The registrar, sir.
The acting vice chancellor, sir. Deans and directors, staff and the matriculating students of African Aviation and Aerospace University, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite the acting vice chancellor to give his matriculation address. Sir, you are welcome.
I was surprised when the MC said a small breach in protocol. That was not small. It's likely to cost me my job. So I will join the queue and also apologize for that very, very serious breach in protocol. I know my chairman is very magnanimous. I'm sure I'm having a positive nod for my apology. The Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, ably represented by my big brother, the Permanent Secretary, Laji Mahmoud Adam Kambari, distinguished members of the National Assembly, most importantly, the Chairman, House Committee on Aviation, ably represented by my big brother, Honorable Festus, members of Governing Council, African Aviation and Aerospace University, Directors General, Managing Directors of sister aviation agencies ably represented here today, members of University Senate, principal officers, staff, parents, guardians, distinguished guests, and above all, the stars of today's ceremony, our matriculating students. Mr. Chairman, sir, for many of us here, today is not just another university event. It is another chapter in history. Barely 2 years ago, we were all together here where we had our maiden matriculation ceremony and also the groundbreaking of the university's permanent site. At that time, many people saw only a vision. Today, that vision is gradually becoming a reality. Today is more than another ceremony on our academic calendar. It is another milestone in the remarkable story of the African Aviation and Aerospace University. Typical of me, whenever I have the opportunity, I tend to give the story of African Aviation and Aerospace University for us to all become ambassadors of this potentially great institution. 3 matriculation ceremonies in 3 years may sound ordinary to some. But to those of us who know where this journey began, today is indeed a moment of deep reflection and indeed thanksgiving. Mr. Chairman, sir, permit me, therefore, to begin on a personal note. Standing before you today as the acting Vice Chancellor of this potentially great institution is an honor I do not take lightly. It is made even more humbling by the fact that I have had the rare privilege of witnessing the birth and growth of this university from the very first beginning, being the first member of staff employed for the institution. In fact, employed not to an institution, but to a vision. There was simply a vision, a bold vision conceived by the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development to establish a world-class specialized university that will produce the highly skilled manpower needed to transform aviation and aerospace in Nigeria, across Africa and even beyond. Many people saw only an idea. Some wondered whether it will ever become a reality. Others questioned whether a specialized university could truly survive in a Nigeria of today. To some, it was just a white elephant whose lifespan is only defined by an administration. But vision, backed by determination, has a way of silencing doubt. The doubting Thomases, in fact, today in this hall, provides the answer. Over the past few years, I've had the privilege of witnessing virtually every defining moment in the history of this institution. Today, I stand before you once again as we welcome another generation of students into this great institution. For me, this is more than an administrative responsibility. It is deeply personal for many of us here. The story of AAAU has become part of our own history, and I believe many members of staff here today share that same feeling as I do. I am often reminded on an ancient Chinese proverb that says, a huge tree that fills one's arm grows from a tiny seedling. This timeless wisdom teaches us that remarkable achievement begins with humble beginnings. Ladies and gentlemen, borrowing a leaf from Martin Luther King Jr., today I have a dream. I believe we all have a dream. Nigeria has a dream. Africa has a dream where AAAU becomes a center of excellence, an institution of global reference in aviation education. Every great institution begins with just a dream, but dreams alone do not build institutions. Dreams alone do not build universities. People do. Dedicated men and women who believe in an idea even before others begin to see its possibilities. As we continue to dream and keep the flare blazing while the staff holds the band, the students shall be the blaze. I wish to sincerely appreciate every pioneer staff member of this university. Many of you, as I'm very well aware, left your comfort zones or your comfortable positions to embrace uncertainty at a point of your lives. You chose to build rather than to merely inherit. You accepted the challenge of creating systems where none existed. You worked long hours, often behind the scenes, to ensure that this university took off successfully. History may not immediately project every sacrifice, but this institution will forever bear your fingerprint. I thank you most sincerely, all the staff of AAAU. I'm standing tall today only because of the amazingly dedicated staff of AAAU. I say thank you. Our appreciation also goes to the pioneer students. You took a chance on a university that was just beginning. You believed in our vision. You became ambassadors of this institution when there was little history to speak of. While over 50 postgraduate students have successfully defended their master degrees in AAAU. In about a year from today, we shall invite you all here today for the maiden convocation of AAU as we prepare for the graduation of our pioneer undergraduate student set. Together, we have justified that confidence. You have helped shape the culture and identity of AAAU. This university belongs more to you than to us. The future generation will always remember that. You were among those who laid the foundation. And yes, we have dreams. Yes, we are determined, but we are fully aware that without the support of our mother ministry, I can see all the directors here, without your support, under the able leadership of Barrister Festus Keyamo, CON son, a charismatic leader who has made the environment very conducive to thrive, ably supported by a hardworking permanent secretary and lineup of directors. Also under the governing council, under the leadership of Alhaji Bukar Goni Aji, a thoroughbred administrator who has ensured stability in governance, and under his excellence leadership, AAU is truly coasting to greatness. I thank all the council members here present. Specifically, I can see Professor EPD nodding his head. I thank you very much for all the support you've been given. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the African Aviation and Aerospace University did not emerge by accident. It was a deliberately established institution to respond to a global reality. The aviation industry is expanding rapidly across the world. According to international projections, hundreds of thousands of aviation professionals will be required over the next 2 decades. Africa is expected to witness one of the fastest rates of aviation growth. Yet, our continent still faces a shortage of the highly skilled manpower required to support that growth. This challenge presents an opportunity to AAU. And AAU was established primarily to ensure that Nigeria and Africa seize that opportunity. Our mission is not simply to award degrees. Our mission is to produce competent professionals, innovative researchers, responsible leaders, and solution providers who will shape the future of aviation and aerospace in our continent. That is why we remain committed to excellence in teaching, research, innovation, and industry collaboration. We are determined that every graduate of this great institution will be recognized not merely by the certificates they carry, but by the quality of knowledge, competence, discipline, and professionalism they demonstrate wherever they go. Our vision is simple: to become Africa's leading specialized university in aviation and aerospace research and education. And by God's grace, we are steadily moving towards that destination. Our academic growth has been impressive and deliberate. We began in 2023 with only 29 undergraduate students. Today, our student population has grown to 311. Within 3 years. Our contribution to professional training has been equally significant. In year 2023, the university delivered training to 162 professionals. Today, we have successfully conducted training to well over 500 professionals through our professional training directorate. The university was created to produce specialists. And I promise you, specialists, it must continue to produce. Now, to my dear matriculating students, today is your day. So please accept my congratulations. Welcome to the aviation family. But before the excitement becomes too much, permit me to spoil this celebration a little bit. Some of you, I believe, are already planning how to skip lectures. Some are already searching on the easiest way to pass examinations. Some are already identifying who they will copy assignments or examinations from. I hope none of them is here today. Let me advise you, the aviation industry is one industry of precision where incompetence kills. A poorly trained engineer can bring down an aircraft. A careless weather forecaster can endanger hundreds of lives. A dishonest safety inspector can compromise an entire aviation ecosystem. An ill-trained aviation manager can damage a multi-billion-dollar investment. There is absolutely no room for mediocrity in aviation. So if you came here looking for shortcuts, you came to the wrong university. If you came here to play more than you study, I'm sorry, you came to the wrong university. If you came here hoping that someone will write your examination, again, this is the wrong place for you. But if you came here prepared to work hard, to dream big, to innovate, to compete globally, then I say to you, welcome home. This university will prepare you not merely for jobs, but for leadership, not merely for Nigeria, but for Africa, not merely for Africa, but for the global world. Once again, I warmly congratulate each of our matriculating students and your families on this memorable occasion. May your years at AAAU be enriching, transformative, and filled with remarkable accomplishments. Welcome to AAAU. Welcome to the future of aviation and aerospace in Africa. Thank God, and God bless you all.
Once more, put your hands together for the Acting Vice Chancellor, African Aviation and Aerospace University. Thank you very much for that straightforward speech. Just to recognize the following directors, the Director of Works and Fiscal Planning, Engineer Masood Aliyu is in our midst. You are welcome, sir. The Director, Professional Training, I have recognized him earlier. He took the opening prayer, Dr. Aliyu Mohammed Tata. You are welcome, sir. And the Acting Secretary SPGS and the Head of Units, Protocol and Information, John Jibrin. You are welcome, sir. The Head of Unit, Sumaila Ibrahim Yakubu. You are also very much welcome. The Head of Unit, General Studies and Basic Science Unit, Hajia Rukayat Ibrahim, Hajia Rukayat Abdul Karim. You are welcome, ma. And the Head Legal Unit, Daubri Bipade Richard. Head of Procurement Unit, Ebimefowe Diawari, you are welcome. The Head, ACAD, Dr. Chado Salihu Abdullah, welcome. The Head ICT Unit, Mohammed Ali Jajere, thank you. The Head of the Sick Bay Unit, North Joma, you are welcome. And the Chief Security Officer of this university, who has assured me that we are all secured in this venue, Mr. Collins Ania. Thank you very much. You are welcome. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall be going into the very core of this program. And I expect all students to be ready for this part of the matriculation program, which is the matriculation oath. The matriculation oath will be taken in this order. We shall take the oaths by departments. Each department will be presented by their head of department, and then the acting registrar of this university will administer the oaths. Immediately after the oaths taken, you have been given the oath form, and you are going to make sure that that is signed immediately and returned to the acting registrar. So without much ado, permit me to invite the acting registrar of this university to come and administer the oaths to the students. Starting from the Department of Meteorology and Climate Change Science, can we have the head of department of the Department of Meteorology and Climate Change Science to come and present his students for the oath taking? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my head of department, Dr. Eniola Olaniyan. Let me finish introducing you, sir.
You don't do. Thank you, everyone, and stand on the existing protocol. May all students from the Department of Meteorology and Climate Change Science rise, please. My acting visitor, I proudly present to you this distinguished individual here standing and in absentia as the newest additions to our Department of Meteorology and Climate Change Science of the African Aviation and Aerospace University. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the head of department. May I have the acting registrar to come and administer the oath?
the acting vice chancellor for the student matriculating today. We have the undergraduates and the postgraduates. Taking oath is a serious business. It's not just what you say or how you say it, but how practicable it is. You have come here purposely to be trained both in the academics and in character. And you must show this after you have left this place. Then let me, under the purview of my administration as the acting registrar of the university, inform you that you are not supposed to be found wanting. You are always supposed to be truthful in what you are doing, just like the acting vice chancellor has said in his address. Never mind, you are not carrying the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. This oath is your Holy Quran and your Holy Bible right in the university here. Therefore, I plead with all that is hearing me from this angle to please adhere strictly and administratively on this oath. As you are standing, I want you to say after me. You will start by this. If you have the form with you, the first thing you say is your name. I, so person. I, so person, matric number, your department, you mention, and the program you do. Then, while I read, you go with me. Are we ready? Sure. Are we ready? I hereby administer the oath on the matriculating students. Hereby, or here present, absent from home, proxy. And you will say with your name. It is not laudable. Your matric number. We will start again. Please don't keep the chairman of council and the permanent secretary waiting. Sure. We want you to be sharp in what you are saying. When you talk with confidence. So let's go back. Your matric number. Department. Meteorology. And your program.
BSc Meteorology.
Do solemnly swear. To observe. And respect. The provisions. Of the African Aviation and Aerospace University, AAU.
Of the African Aviation and the Aerospace University, AAU.
Abuja. And statutes.
Law and statutes.
Schedules and regulations. Lawfully made. Which are in force. And which shall from time to time. Be brought into force. For the good governance of the university. So put your hand on your chest. And say what? So help me. Clap for yourself, please. You may have your seat.
So thank you very much, the Acting Registrar of the African Aviation and Aerospace University. So we'll quickly move forward. Please, I believe the students of the Department of Aviation Business have understood the procedure. So when he says I, you say I, and then you say your name. Say it loudly. Where is Esther, please? Esther, please ensure that some of those students have mic so that it can be heard from anywhere. So very quickly, can I invite the head of department of the Department of Aviation Business to come and present the students for the matriculation oath. Put your hands together for Dr. Chuba Henry Okeke. Is that how you clap for your HOD? You are very much welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, all. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My acting VC, it's my privilege to present to you. Okay, may all those from Aviation Business Department stand up. Stand up. My acting VC, it's my privilege to present to you those students standing up and those in absentia for the matriculation oath taking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the head of department, AVB. Can I quickly once more invite the acting registrar of this university, Mr. Dennis Onwukwe, JP, to come and administer the matriculation oath on these students.
I hereby administer the oath on the matriculating students hereby present and those who are unavoidably absent for whom I stand proxy. Straightforward, let's go to the matriculation oath. You have been directed. I. Your name?
Haruna Hafsat.
Matriculation number?
U25 AVB1003.
Of the department?
Of the department.
Of what?
Aviation business.
Aviation business?
Of aviation business.
Program?
Aviation
That's
management.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To observe and respect.
To observe and respect.
The provisions of the African Aviation and Aerospace University.
The provision of the African Aviation and Aerospace University.
AAAU Abuja.
Abuja.
Law and statutes.
Law and statutes.
Schedules and regulations.
Schedules and regulations.
Lawfully made.
Lawfully made.
Which are now in force.
Which are now in force.
And which shall from time to time.
And which shall from time to time.
Be brought into force.
Be brought into force.
For the governance of the university.
For the governance of the university.
Your hands on your chest. So do what?
So help me God.
Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for the students of the Department of Aviation Business. That's all. That's all. Yes. Thank you very much. That's all. That's all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 programs in the postgraduate section of our university, of which we shall be matriculating today. We have the program of the Air Safety Management and the Air Transport Management. Can I have the privilege of inviting the Acting Dean of the School of Postgraduate Studies, Professor Yahaya Zayana Ibrahim, to come and present the students for the matriculation oath. Is Professor, please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, all. All protocols duly observed. Will all students of School of Postgraduate Studies of African Aviation and Aerospace University stand up, please, for both ATM and ASM program. Acting Vice Chancellor, sir, I present you graduate students of African Aviation and Aerospace University who are present and those who are absent for who are the newest addition to our School of Postgraduate Studies for the awards. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies, African Aviation and Aerospace University. All postgraduate students are expected to remain standing, whether it be ASM, ATM, meteorology. The acting registrar, sir, you are invited to administer the matriculation oath.
The acting vice chancellor, sir, I hereby administer the oath on the matriculating students of the School of Postgraduate Studies and present them to you, and those unavoidably absent, whom I stand proxy. Our esteemed postgraduate students, please say after me. I, mention your name.
Younger.
Your matriculation number.
ASA1009.
Your department.
SFT Management.
And your program.
MSc.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To observe and respect the provisions. Of the African Aviation and Aerospace University.
Of the African Aviation and Aerospace University.
AAU.
AAAU.
Abuja.
Abuja.
Law and statutes.
Law and statutes.
Schedules and regulations lawfully made.
Schedules and regulations lawfully made.
Which are now in force.
Which are now in force.
And we shall from time to time.
And we shall from time to time.
Be brought into force.
Be brought into force.
For the governance of the university.
For the governance of the university.
So help me.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, the acting vice chancellor, for that function. So please, every student is expected to sign the matriculation oath forms immediately and ensure that they are returned. Immediately, students should ensure that they are signing these matriculation oath forms. So we'll give some time for the students to sign the matriculation oath forms. I will retrieve. You have just 5 minutes, quickly. So while the students are signing the matriculation oath form, we have a very small presentation that we quickly invite the King and the Queen of Aviation. They have a presentation for the Vice Chancellor, so we'll give you this moment to do that. Mr. Fortune, you can come and take over this. Where are they now? Hello. quickly.
My the special guest, the representative of the Honorable Minister here present, the Permanent Secretary, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will kindly stand on the already established protocol. My name is Fortune Idu. I'm the chairman of a center called the NIGAF Center. NIGAF Center is coined out of Nigerian aviation, so it's called NIGAF Center. It's a primary center focused on aviation development promotion. A group of consultants and those who think of moving aviation forward come together to put ideas together on how aviation can be promoted. And as soon as the was founded, we were the first to welcome them on board as a member of the NIGAF Center, and also to start to help to promote them and bring people, students to the university. Part of the NIGAF responsibility is not just to promote aviation, but to have it sustained in a safe and responsible manner by creating awareness and programs that are bordered around social corporate responsibility. It gladdens my heart today when the Vice Chancellor indicated here that there are people who have merited the entry into this university under a social corporate responsibility. What it tells is that this university is not just only providing learning and opportunity for people to Nigeria to develop capacity in aviation, but for it to develop such responsibly. One of the global milestone for measuring industry for development is on how certain things are integrated into the system. On aviation, safety management system is integrated, and on corporate organization, you have integration of social corporate responsibility. So social corporate responsibility, we also do center, and we have with me here the King and Queen of the Air, which is a social corporate responsibility program that is designed to promote the good, the work, and responsible practice for the cabin crew. So the whole cabin crew in Nigeria comes under the cabin club, and the cabin club means unifying all the aviation and airlines. Today we want to use this opportunity to present to the university a plaque of recognition and a plaque of acknowledgement of what they are doing, and it shall be presented by the King of the Air to the Vice Chancellor. Please. He's not ready yet.
The Vice Chancellor of this great university, Chancellor, sir. Please, you can come forward.
So we present to you a special plaque of appreciation when it comes to aviation, corporate social responsibility, and also to bring a greetings from all the Nigerian cabinet for taking one of theirs, as a matter of fact, two, the King and Queen of the Air, that was awarded a scholarship into your program. We want to say a very big thank you. Please, a round of applause for that, please. All right. She's a bit late. She's a bit late. All right. And secondly, also want to use this opportunity to also ask that we all key into the corporate social responsibility message for the year, which is called Not on My Flight. Not on My Flight is a campaign that is endorsed by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the Federal year to campaign against unruly behaviors in the aircraft, theft in the aircraft, or all kinds of vices in the aircraft. So this is a campaign that we are launching. We've launched yesterday, and we want to use this opportunity to extend it to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the King and Queen of the Air. No, I think I only saw the King of the Air. Thank you very much. King of Aviation. Just give to Mazuma. Mazuma. Yes, please. Give him. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the important events for this August's gathering is the Matriculation lecture. And we shall be taking the Matriculation lecture in earnest. And the Matriculation lecture will be given by Dr. Richard Aizebiogun. If your hands are not busy, with a round of applause and a standing ovation, we invite Diamond Tambari to come and read out for our guest lecturer for today. Please keep clapping for the guest lecturer, not for Diamond. Diamond, please.
Thank you, sir. With pleasure, I now present the citation of our esteemed guest and honoree, Dr. Richard O. Aizebiogun, Fellow, Chartered Institute of Transportation and Logistics, Member, Nigerian Institute of Management, Chartered, International Airport Professional. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present a distinguished aviation professional, transport expert, administrator, and thought leader, Dr. Richard O. Aizebiogun. Dr. Aizebiogun is an accomplished aviation and transport specialist with over 3 decades of extensive experience spanning airport management, airline operation, aviation consultancy, transport planning, and executive leadership. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in Geography, with a specialization in transport from the University of Lagos, alongside a Master of Science in Geography, Transport Option, a Master of Transportation, Planning and Management, and a postgraduate diploma in Management. He earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Geography and Regional Planning from the University of Port Harcourt. Throughout his illustrious, Dr. Aizebiogun has occupied strategic leadership positions several within Nigeria's aviation industry. He served as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and where he oversaw the administration of 21 airports across the country. He also served as the Chief Operating Officer of Overland Airways Limited, where he played a pivotal role in establishing and managing airlines operation from air parts, aircraft acquisition to route development. His wealth of experience further extends to his role as Executive Director of International Operations at Air Nigeria Limited, Managing Director of Geometric Synergy Services Limited, and Aviation Transport Consultant at Airfield Integrated Services Limited. Dr. Isaac Biogun's expertise has been enriched through numerous professional programs and international certifications, including a prestigious diploma in airport management from the International Airport Professional Program of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, and Airport Council Nigeria, ACI, as well as executive training at Harvard Business School, the Dubai Aviation Training Academy, and Houston Airport System. A respected scholar and industry resource person, he has authored and co-authored academic publication and delivered papers at major aviation conferences within and outside Nigeria. His presentations have addressed critical issues such as air transport liberalization, air concessions, aviation infrastructure and development, airline sustainability, and transport connectivity across Africa. In recognition of his immense contributions to the aviation sector, Dr. Isaac Biogun has received numerous honors and has served in several high-level committees, including the Joint Intelligence Board under the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Ministerial Committee on the Rationalization of Private Airstrip Operations. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transportation, a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management, and a certified international airport professional. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming an exceptional leader, visionary strategist, seasoned administrator, passionate advocate for the advancement of aviation and transportation in Africa.
Thank you very much. You are very much welcome, sir.
So I need to raise my hand. All right. At some point, I wasn't sure if that citation was for me. I didn't realize I have achieved so much in this industry. But thank you for that. I would not stand on the existing protocol. I like to take the protocol at this point. So please permit me to take the protocol. It's pretty lengthy, but I'll take it. The Honorable Minister of Aviation, Federal Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Barrister Festus Keyamo, Arbitration, United Kingdom, Senior Advocate of represented by my brother, the Permanent Secretary of Aviation, Mr. Cambery. I first met Mr. Cambery about a couple months back, early this year, and it was as if we've known each other for the past 2 decades, sharing experience together. The chairman of the governing council of this university, the council members who are present here this morning and those in absence, the members of the parliament present here and House Committee on Aviation respectively, members of the University Senate Committee, faculty members who are present here, chief executive of the agencies in aviation, ably represented by the various directors, some of whom I know very well, heads of government agencies also present here this afternoon. Did I skip the vice? I did. I'm reserving him. He's going to come in as a substitute player at Matriculants. So, very, very proud matriculating students, both undergraduate and postgraduates. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say once again, I'm extremely very pleased to be here this afternoon. And I'm honored to be given this privilege to discuss the subject matter, which is the theme of our guest talk today, transforming Africa through aviation and aerospace education. But the determining variable is the last sentence, the African Aviation and Aerospace University's vision. So my discussion today is going to skew towards the vision as it helps African aviation, through education. Before I start, I'd like to tell you a story so I can raise the interest of everyone in this discussion. You know, sometimes in 1952, there was a young man. He was probably in his late teenage years into early young adulthood. A Russian who loved aerospace from his studies of the pioneers of aerospace at the beginning of the 20th century, between 1903, 1925, before the Second World War started in 1939. So he saw how airplanes were flying up and down, and he said in his mind that if this could happen, then it's also possible to go beyond the Earth's atmosphere and go into the outer space. Of course, he pursued his dream. His dream was to fly into the Earth's outer space. And so what did he do? He went on his studies and became a Russian cosmonaut. I'm sure some of us have heard of Major Yuri Gagarin. A very young man at 24. At age 24, Major Yuri Gagarin was the first person to fly out of the Earth into the Earth space. He was on a spacecraft that was flying at 108 miles per second. That was almost at the speed of light. And he went around orbiting the Earth. But he did not land on any of the planetary systems, or even on any of them. He just went circling the Earth. He was happy because he had achieved his dream and his vision. And he came back to the Earth. He was very well celebrated. And the whole world became a new thing in the study of space world. But the Americans watched with one eye opened because that was a great achievement. So in 1969, another young American went into the space, Neil Armstrong. Armstrong did not just go into the space, but he landed in the moon on the Apollo 11 spacecraft. And that became the strong achievement of the vision that the man set for not just himself, but the United States of America as a global world leader. Just one man. Of course, he didn't do the space shuttle expedition alone. He did it with 3 other persons, and they accomplished that purpose. When they came back to the Earth, the whole world celebrated Neil Armstrong and his space colleagues. They got several awards. And when he was interviewed, what excites me about these 2 stories, Neil Armstrong said he had always dreamt of being a space scientist, and his vision has always gone beyond the planet Earth. He wanted to see how he could explore beyond the planet Earth. So flying to the space was something he thought will help him out. The two of them have something in common, which is the vision. And let's keep that at the back of our mind. Vision becomes something very unique, especially when it comes to transforming an idea into a reality. Why do we say this? The power of vision is what helps all the great transformations you all know in the world today. And there's so many transformations we all know. But those visionaries didn't just wake up. They had to go through what we call education. One of such education is what the rest of the celebrant we are having today, the matriculating students, are going to go through the next couple of years while they are in the school. That education is what will help them to achieve their vision. And I'm sure if you ask each of them individually what their vision is, they will tell you. But the interesting thing which you must know as I discuss this program, this topic, is that your vision must be congruent with the vision of the university. So if you ask me, let me ask you this question. What is the great transformation? What do all great transformations have in common? The answer is there on my slide. Okay, so you have to listen to me. You can't see the slide. They all began with a vision. And I have said, for instance, before the first airplane took to flight, there was a vision. And I'm sure you know the pioneers of aircrafts. The very first pioneer of aircrafts in the world, there are two brothers, Wilbur and Orville Wright, Wilbur Wright, in 1903. They were determined to make an equipment that is powered engine, but larger than the air and heavier than the air. So something that can actually take off beyond the pull of the air. That was a vision, but it didn't just happen in 1903. They had cultivated it between 1901 and 1903. Before the man landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong, which I just mentioned the story now, there was a vision. Even before satellites connected the world, there was a vision. And before Africa aviation leaders enter into this university as potential, you had a vision. So the power of a vision is very important and is driven by technology advancements, which will start from just a small idea that you have, which is exactly what is happening in this environment today through this university. I tell you, if you come back here in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, you will see a significant milestones from what you are seeing today. Because what is happening here today is driven by a vision from the Honorable Minister, from the Governing Council Chairman, from the Senate, from the Governing Council members. They have established certain vision for this institution. We're going to identify those visions and see how we can correlate it with our individual vision as matriculating students. So, if you are a dreamer and you imagine that this is achievable, then of course, the next thing you will be thinking about is that in the nearest future, I want to be the next aerospace scientist, the next aerospace engineer. I want to be the next aviation entrepreneur that is highly knowledgeable, certified professionally to handle whatever you are required. You want to be the next airline CEO, not just because you have all the money, but because you can manage the business of airline. And you want to be the next regulator because you understand all the ICAO annexes and their domesticated, regulation in the environment. If you can achieve that, then the dream is becoming a reality. But let's relate it now back to where we started from, Africa. And remember, we're talking about transforming Africa. But we're saying the tool to transforming Africa is education and aviation education. And we have established that really those who have successfully transformed their space at one time or the other, whether it is aerospace or aviation, started with education. Now, in Africa, it's been said that in the next 27 years, 1 out of every 4 persons will be an African by the year 2050. 1 out of every 4 persons you see will come from Africa. That's very interesting. But why do we need that information? Especially in this discussion we're having today. It's because as a burden, as a big problem for Africa. Oh, we are going to be overpopulated. Oh, isn't this going to be a big challenge for us to manage resources? The answer is no. Why do we say the answer is no? It should be seen as a tremendous advantage for the continent of Africa because institutions like this have been set up to help ameliorate any potential problems explosive population could create, especially when people are not just trained, but they are specialized in their training program. They are educated, they are empowered, and they are able to lead into the future. That is what the matriculating students today, whether postgraduate or undergraduate, are desiring of. That's part of their core vision. And because African aviation, it's still at its embryonic stage and growing continuously,